Okay, so today I will be talking about why bees are disappearing, and that leads me to my question of how many of you guys see a bee and run? No? Nobody? Okay. So that brings me to my story of I used to play softball growing up, and when you have a game, you warm up before your game, and we were doing our stretches, and I had put my hand down, and I got stung by a bee for the first time, and I realized that I was like, oh my God, there's a stinger in my hands. Like, I was freaking out, and now that I think about it, it was like, it's kind of stupid for me to, because it really didn't hurt that bad, but I think about it, and I'm like, I killed a bee. Like, I didn't, like, it seems so simple to, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but now it really is a big deal because of the fact that bees are disappearing. So that brings me to what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to talk about why bees are disappearing. So that leads me to CCD, and then it leads me to climate change and veromites. Okay. So my first main point is CCD, and EPA.gov 2018 states that CCD, also known as colony collapse disorder, is when bees are in their hive, and one morning they, like their keeper, will notice that half of them are gone. And it's not because they died, it's not because of anything else, they just disappeared. So with that, ScienceForKids.com 2004 says that it says that when this happens, there's no real reason as to why it happens, but it's one of the reasons why bees are disappearing, and it's not because they die, because they don't die, and they leave behind their queen bee, and they leave behind nursing bees, but they can still last, but they won't last as long as they would as if they were to have all the bees with them. So that leads me to my next main point that we talk about a lot today because it's a big deal, because, well, especially now, and it's climate change, and the Sydney News in 2010 stated that climate change is a really big deal when it comes to bees, because bees, I don't know if you guys know, but bees hibernate, and I didn't know that, but bees hibernate during the winter, and because of the fact that it's getting hotter during the winter, the flowers are blooming. And with that being, Baker 2017, I believe, says that because that the mismatch between the bees going in hibernation and the flowers blooming, it's like throwing them off a little bit, so they don't have pollen to like go eat off of, and like with that being, when they have nothing to eat, then they can't produce the honey, and they can't give us the things that we need. And believe it or not, without bees, we don't have anything. We don't have honey. We don't have the majority of the stuff that we eat and we use today. So that brings me to my next topic of the last but not least, veromites. And veromites, according to beawareness.org 2017, states that these are little red-brown mites that get into the like their nest, I guess you could say, like their comb, when they're being hatched, and they get inside of them. And then Hansman 2016 says that with that, so when they get older, they live, but the mite is inside of them, they just don't live as long because of the fact that it messes with their nerves, and it like kind of distracts them from inside and out, so it whacks them out, and they can't eventually they get really weak and they can't really fly and they can't do all of that. So, but this is the number one reason as to why bees are disappearing. It's not necessarily humans or anything else, it's the mites. And overall, I talked to you guys about CCD, I talked to you guys about climate change and how it's affecting them, and I talked to you about Bureau mites, which most of us don't know about. So if you guys want to learn more about them, there's a TED Talk online about why bees are vanishing. I forgot what the girl's name? Maria, I don't know how to say her last name. So, bees are really important, and I think we tend to forget about them because they're little things and they're bugs, and most people don't like bugs, but they're cute bugs and we love them. Yeah, that's it.